And we are live. What's up, everybody? This is the second CNC live video, and as people come in, y'all are in for a treat today. It seems like this thing is growing, picking up some traction because we have a lot more live viewers currently than we did the previous show. So I'm doing something right, and I saw who said it. I think Fatfish said it. He said no beer tonight, and no, we had a cold front blow in, so it's like mid-50s. So it's time for whiskey here in Texas. You know, you take what you can get, all right? So it's cold enough for an old-fashioned, so I will be drinking live and operating heavy machinery live on YouTube. As long as my insurance agent isn't watching, should be good. All right, guys, so how this live is going to work, we're going to do a couple things. Y'all are getting a sneak peek into my next YouTube video that's coming out on Sunday. And we're actually going to be cutting out a project live on here that I'm going to show off in a longer form video on Sunday. And I go a lot more behind the design aspects of why I designed it certain ways on Sunday's video. But here, we're going to cut it out. It's really a banger project that I think a lot of people are going to like. I'm going to give it away to a viewer as well. And so we're going to cut it out, and some lucky person is going to get the one we actually cut out on this live. And once we're done cutting out, we'll put it to use, and y'all kind of see this whole contraption. And so questions I'd like for y'all guys to ask while I'm doing this is any questions about the Altmill, anything like that. I know last show I had problems with my fat fingers and stuff. Scott of CNC Labs did comment and say, hey, dummy, increase the screen size. And so I don't have to fat finger stuff anymore. If you watch the last live, G-Sender is now fixed on this. If you have any programming questions, anything like that, feel free to ask. So this is y'all's time to watch me break stuff or watch me use it properly, I hope, and, you know, just get educated. So with that being said, do we have any questions popping up initially about the Altmill? Anything like that? So this is the Altmill. Because y'all don't know about it, I like it so far. It's pretty dang cool. It comes with a 65mm spindle on it. This is exactly how it came out of the box. Table legs already came with it. So within 8 hours, I had this thing up and running. And I really like the fact that you can do this with the Altmill. This is an add-on. It's like an extra $500, but I hate laptops. So this works really good for me. And it's a full computer, so I can go on here, watch YouTube videos. I can stream this live on here and do whatever I need to do. If I wanted to go to Google, right, I can go to Google on this thing. So it is pretty cool, the fact that this thing is its own pretty much computer system for like $500. So that's the initial setup here. I have a basic T-slot table, nothing crazy. MDF, T-slots, clamps that I find from Amazon. A lot of y'all 3D print stuff. A lot of y'all use wood. As long as it holds, we're good. That kind of rhymed, too. I like that. Hopefully my wife is watching, because she'd be impressed by that. All right, so the product that we are cutting out is a inlay press. And so whenever I came out with these inlay kits, all right, I got to plug that because they are super cool. We just came out with, we have that Paduke one. Let's do walnut and Paduke. And so you're going to do an inlay on your CNC, but the problem that all inlayers have, or all inlay people have, lay people, how the heck do you press this down, right? You can put a weight on it. You can put it in the big hydraulic press that you buy from Harbor Freight for like, I think it's $400 right now, something like that. You can stand on it, you put 5-gallon buckets, you put a piece of plywood and some C-clamps, and that's kind of my method. But knowing myself as a CNC person, I wanted to figure out something that I can CNC cut that's universal, that everybody could use. And so I found these clamps right here on Amazon, and these are just like a 9-inch screw clamp, and I'll put the link in the chat for y'all guys. But this is a 9-inch pony screw clamp. And I was like, okay, I can figure out some kind of an inlay press using these clamps. And so I bought these clamps, got them in, and I said, Ryan, think of something cool, overcomplicate it because you have a CNC, and see if we can make it nice. And so that's what I did. I sat down, and in about 2-3 hours, I had this press kind of hatched out, pressed out, however you want to think about it. So that's what we're going to show today. And what it does, it's going to evenly press everything. There's no glue, no screws required. It's going to be made out of a 2-foot by 2-foot sheet of plywood right here. And honestly, it's probably one of my favorite things that I ever designed in the history of ever. So I'm going to go share my screen real quick, show you the initial design. We'll start cutting it because it takes about 20 minutes to cut out. And while it's cutting, I'll take questions. If you have questions while it's cutting, we'll do that. And we'll hopefully not break any bits today. Greg from STL, if you're watching, I got you, bro. All right. So let's show you the initial design file for this. Sorry guys, I am computer illiterate. Right here. Can y'all see this? Brandon, can you see it? Steven is working the camera and Brandon is working the chat. So if you have any questions, my brother Brandon is working the chat and Steven, our amazing videographer, is working the camera. And so right here, this is the digital file for it right now. So I have like all of this stuff laid out. But here's the initial framework of it. And so it all kind of fits together and it'll make more sense when I cut it out. But initially, this piece right here is going to fit into that slot and everything's going to work. I just dog boned up these corners right here. And if you don't know what that is, really quickly, all you do is you come in and put a little dog bone here. And what that allows it to do is it allows a square piece to slide all the way in and not hit the corners, right? Because if you don't put that dog bone in when you're doing this kind of stuff and you remove them and whenever you cut with a 1/4 inch bit, you're going to have something like this, real basic guys, and it's going to stop right about there and start wedging. So that's all I did to kind of fix all of this stuff. Normal dog, I could do a T-bone, which kind of flares it out in any direction, but this one worked good for a dog bone fillet, and you can see where it kind of gets his name from. So this is the initial design right here that we'll start cutting out. And then if y'all have any questions about this and why I did it certain ways, we'll hop back to this while the CNC is cutting. Brandon, do we have any initial questions for it? Anything like that?
Wild Angle said, what machine up to 10K? I wanted to do an upgrade.
Okay. All right. I'll hop to that question. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drill these pilot holes right here. And so these are going to be just 1/8 inch drill bit drilling out these holes. And what this is just for screws because this is an exact 2-foot by 2-foot sheet. And I need to hold this thing down without clamps because there is no room for clamps anywhere. And so I marked some holes where that screw can fit without getting hit by the bits. And the best way I did this is I took the diameter of the screw plus the diameter of the bit. And so you get a 0.75 inch diameter circle. And if you put that there, it's not going to get hit anywhere because the bit is coming over here and it's coming over there. Anyways, it's not going to hit. So I know by putting that circle around that dot, as long as it doesn't touch a line, my bit's not going to get hit. So that's kind of how I figured that out. All right. Let's get this on here and start cutting.
Question, Ryan?
Huh?
Question?
Yeah, take a question. I'll take a question while we're doing this. Center datum.
Is file going to be available?
Yeah, so this file is currently available on CIC Workshop. I literally just got it up right before this live. That's why I was a little bit late. All right, so I got my... So the press can do up to a 20-inch wide, and really a single press can do 20 inches wide and about 20 by 13. I've kind of designed it for these. They're 18 by 12, and so that's the reason for the design. But you can definitely make multiple presses or configure it in whatever way you want and just take inspiration from this idea. So, all right. So first thing we're going to do, I just got to hold this down just a little bit so that 1/8" bit can come by, poke some holes real quick. And I'm having some struggle bus moments real quick. Boop. Lined up, it's square, cool beans. And nothing crazy here, guys. I'm just clamping it down. Centering the bit on the material. So my method for my madness, and I have a golden girl in there right now. So I don't know. I measure from each side. It's 24 inches. I'm put a mark at 12. Put a mark at 12. Have a little X right there in the center, and then I'll just jog the bit over. A lot of people complicate this, and like I'm not a huge fan of corner origins unless I have like a jig made where I can just bump stop everything into the corner. So on weird projects like this where I just don't bump everything to the corner, I like to mark the center because my sheet good can be oversized. And, you know, if I'm cutting out this wrench on this sheet, whenever I program it, I only have to have like a little box and then I can just put it anywhere on the sheet I want. If I'm doing a corner datum, then I have to know the project, you know, I have to know the size of the sheet I'm cutting out first, you know, prior to programming it, because I got to know, you know, how big it is, how this wrench is going to fit on there. So I always do center origins on most stuff just because I'm simple like that, and it's worked for me for a number of years. All right, so we're going to drill these holes with an 1/8" upcut bit. I do not recommend downcut bits for drilling holes because if you drill holes with downcut bits, you get burns. And burning, whiskey, and wood, two of those go together, but not all of them. My T-tracks, 6 1/8 inches. I wish I was more precise on that, but I took the distance of this T-slot right here, and I said, okay, I want this many pieces, divided it up, and I think it was like 6 and a little less than 3/16, so it was at 5/32, something like that. I cut it out, and then I actually had the CNC drill all the holes for me. And so these were kind of loose in here. The rails were holding everything, and then I did it. Let me know if you want me to do a video on how I do spoil boards. But once again, they're not crazy. I don't do anything too special. I think something in the CNC world that people do, a lot of people over-engineer stuff, and you don't have to.
Put another Altmill in the box.
Oh, so the boxes right here.
That's from John Thompson.
This is going to be a treat for y'all guys in a few weeks. This might be it rhymes with Pay Poco Pive Pro. There we go. That's what it rhymes with. I'm not going to say what it is. It might be in a live stream here in a couple weeks. So it's pretty exciting. All right.
You offer 3/8 rougher bits. You plan to offer a 1/2".
Yeah, so somebody asked, I do offer, and y'all can pin those, by the way, Brandon. You can poke them. It'll show it on the screen. You poke it. So yeah, I do plan on offering a 1/2". We actually have them. I just have them in the shop right now. And I do not offer them just on the website because I did not think anybody would wanted 1/2" roughers. But if you do, I can definitely list them because we use 1/2" roughers primarily. All right, so I got my X and Y zeros set up right here. So I just poke X0, Y0 right here on the G-sender. Pretty simple. And then I'm going to jog it down real quick. What I really do like about this G-sender, what's really cool, is this toggle switch on how fast I can jog down. I don't know how close you can see on the camera, but I can easily just go in here and jog down the speed of how fast it's going to jog down. And so I know it's going to really inch by, and so I can click that. And it's good enough because it's just poking holes. No big deal there. All right, so I hit my Z0. So I got my X and Y0 set up, my Z0, cool beans there. And I'll move it up because I don't want to break anything. All right. Let me get my thing saved, and we are good to go. And for drilling, what I do, I run everything. This is just an 1/8 inch drill bit. I mean, an 1/8 inch upcut. I'm running it at 18,000 RPMs, 100 on the feed rate, 60 on the 60 on the plunge rate, and I'm pecking an 1/8 inch at a time. All right, super simple. Boop, boop, beep, and start. So this is poking some holes. That's it. Nothing too crazy.
What's largest diameter?
It's pretty cool. The camera got a good angle on it. Just a 1/4 inch, actually. So the largest diameter bit a Altmill spindle can hold. Once again, this is that 65 millimeter spindle. So it's like the smallest one they sell. It just holds a 1/4 inch shank. I believe it's an ER12 collet or ER15 collet, something like that. So once again, I'm just poking holes. I do like our 1/8 inch bits that we have. So this 1/8 inch upcut right here is a 3/4 cutting length. I used to only sell 1/2 inch cutting length bits, but what I like about 3/4 cutting length 1/8 inch bits is I can drill holes in 3/4 plywood. I used to run into it a lot where I drill and it'd go past the fluting and then it started burning up or gumming up. And so all of my 1/8 inch bits now that we're going to sell on CSE Workshop have that 3/4 inch cutting length for literally this purpose right here. So, all right. Now I just need some screws. Brandon, can you actually go grab the screws from that corner over there? 1¼ inch T20s. So yeah, that's roughly the drilling process here. We're going to be cutting this out today with this Golden Girl bit right here. And so this is the bit we're going to be cutting everything out with. This is the same bit I broke last week. And hopefully I don't break it this week. Now, it broke, if you're tuned in last week, it broke because we were going too fast. This spindle stopped, and then the machine kept moving, and it broke. It's my belief that this Altmill, if I'm comparing two of them, and I think this could make people mad, I don't care. The Onefinity, if you ever watched the speed test, right, we took a Golden Boy and we ran it at like 1,200 inches a minute cutting through plywood, and the spindle didn't stop, the machine did. And this is an extreme test, but follow me here. So the spindle didn't stop, the machine did, which means technically the spindle is overpowered for the machine. If it's in perfect balance, right, they both stop at the same time. Obviously, it's impossible to do that. This frame right here is overbuilt for this size spindle. And so this frame, I believe, can probably handle up to like a 4 or 5 horsepower spindle because of how rigid and built it is, right? If I put a 3 horsepower spindle on here and I'm running that bit at 1,200 inches a minute, what's going to break first? I don't know. I haven't ran that test yet, but it is just something to think about when you're looking at frames and stuff like that. Like take my Shop Saber over there, for example. Steve, you can point it over there at the Shop Saber, I guess. So take some of my machines over there, for example. It's kind of dark, but that's a massive frame on there, and it has a 10 horsepower spindle. And so typically on machines, the frame is built for the motor. And a lot of CNC guys like to get this mixed up, and they're like, oh, I'm going to do all this and this and this. And it's like a moped frame, I'm just giving an example, a moped frame is built for a moped motor. When you try to put a Ferrari engine on a moped frame, you don't get good results, right? And so usually when they engineer these machines, they have to kind of build them all in congruence, right? Like the stepper motors can't be too big, because then the frame's bad, and then the spindle's too big, then the stepper motor's got to get bigger, and then the frame has to get more rigid. And so don't freak out about all of that fun jazz. Just know that when most of these most of these machines are designed properly, or if they're designed properly, they are made to have that symbiotic relationship between the frame and the spindle. No, this you have some steel on this frame right here, but a lot of it, like this, is extruded aluminum right here on the Altmill. But I really like this Z-mount bracket on here, if I'm being real honest, because it has the bearings, it has these guide rails, has a ball screw, it has all the right stuff that my larger, bigger production machines have, just on a lot smaller frame, where a lot of hobby machines don't have this structure right here. And I know this because that's literally how the structure looks on my bigger machines. Most hobby machines don't have that. They have a downgraded thing. So like I said, this isn't a moped frame. This is a more robust frame than most hobby machines that I have.
Table legs are powder coated steel.
Yeah, powder coated steel table legs. Yep, and comes with it. So, and one other cool thing to kind of note, and like, I'm not just, the reason I don't have any other machine here, this one's the easiest to move. That's why it's here. And I do like it, but it is the easiest to move because it's not overly heavy. I don't have this giant metal table on it. Yeah, we took 2 legs off, fitted through a door, stick it in the back of my truck, hauled it here, plugged it back in, and it's good to go. Because it runs off of a couple 110 plugs. Or a couple 110 plugs is what it runs off of. I will put a link in here. If y'all do click the link, it just helps out the channel. So whenever I talk to Altmill and say, hey, Altmill, do you want to buy me a steak one day? They'll buy me a steak one day. So that helps. All right. I'm going to share my screen again. And let's show you this programming right here. No, the spindle, it might actually. It didn't come with 1/4-inch collets. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to be cutting out, I'll just show y'all right here. So we have an 1/8-inch pocket we're going to do, and this is for alignment of that screw press. We have this little slot right here we're going to cut, 1/2 inch deep. It's just marrying it on either side. We're going to come around with a profile cut and cut almost all the way out. But if you see here, I'm leaving that onion skin. The reason I'm leaving that onion skin is so all the pieces get held in place without me having to move them. Then I come around with a final pass, taking off that little bit of onion skin, and then I leave a little bit of tabs to hold everything together because, once again, the only thing that's holding this whole thing together right here is these screw holes. So all this material will be held down from these screw holes and these tabs. That's why I'm using a downcut bit. Any questions on that while I'm saving? And I'll please work. All right, there we go. Because I'm on a live and I hope nothing breaks. And I'll stop sharing my screen. All right. Any questions on that, guys? Pretty basic stuff here. Oh, and if any of y'all are watching and got a lanyard in the mail because you bought from us last year, it does have a 16 gig USB in it. And it's just a thank you from our company to you, saying thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting the channel. You got the sticker pack, you got a lanyard, and a note from the team. So thank you guys if you supported us last year. And let me know if you got that. So any of y'all are watching, if you got one of those, let me know in the comments and give me don't forget to give this whole live stream a like, a thumbs up, all that good stuff. It does help out the channel. Yep. Yep. All right, I have to move this over just a little bit because the screw holes look like they are right in that T-slot.
How do you make the onion skin?
I'll answer that while this is cutting. All right, so I just got to make sure this thing is square. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to line it up on this T-slot right here. Boop, boop. all my screw holes. Well, nope, I do got to move it over just a little bit more. And once again, I don't do anything crazy, guys. I leave all the crazy stuff for the crazy people. I do normal stuff. All right. And a lot of people don't like to use screws on their spoil board. I don't know why. I do. I don't feel like messing around with nails or anything else, so I use the heck out of screws. But I'm a crazy CNC guy, and this is the only thing gonna hold this whole entire job down, which is pretty freaking cool. Using that down cut bit, that way I have some chips that stay in place that hold everything down. So job is secure. CNC is warmed up. It is ready. It says, feed me. Feed me. Feed me, baby. I want to cut. I love this live, guys. I get to like talk to y'all guys while I'm doing what I love to do.
Marcus asked, how often do you calibrate your irometer?
What's the irometer?
Your eyeball it.
Oh,
Your irometer.
that is funny. That is good. Probably not as often as I should. And once again, this is me. This is how I do stuff. I like to enjoy this and have fun with it and not overcomplicate stuff. I like to, just enjoy this stuff. So I just don't like to overcomplicate it if I don't have to. So I moved it over my little spot, my XY0. So I zero that out so I don't lose it. And then I just jog down real nice and easy. Take it easy. Boom, bam, baby. Yes. By the way, guys, on a live, it is very hard to make Z-zeroing interesting. So give me a little bit of credit there. All right. So we got it Z-zeroed. We got it XY zeroed. And we are ready to cut. As it's cutting, I'll probably walk over there because it might scream a little bit, but I'll show you the first little bit. Once again, it's going to do those pockets, and then it's going to do the profiling. Yep. So we're going to load file. Please work. Oh, actually, you got show this. I really like this about the G Sender too. You can switch cameras. Yeah. So I know it's about to cut out. That's the file it's about to cut out. It is pretty dang cool that you can kind of move it around here. Not that I ever do this, but it is pretty cool to be able to do that on a touchscreen. All right, we're good. Now I'm going to start. Yeah, and then what I really like about this, so this is going at 125 inches a minute. Nothing fast here. Once again, I'm not trying to break another bit today. Yeah. So it's going at 125 inches. Can y'all see me in the screen or no? No. All right. Go switch the camera. So I'll talk and then we'll switch over. So this is going at 125 inches a minute. I'm doing 2 passes on this pocket. Nothing crazy here. One of my favorite things I do like about the Altmill though is its quickness and its speed. It's kind of like over the top. So I really like the rapid rate. There we go. Anyways, it's cutting all these slots out. Pretty basic pockets right here. Nothing crazy. And then when it starts to go to profiling, it is going to get a little bit loud. And so I will, stop that. I will get away from it when it's cutting profiling because y'all don't want to hear screaming for about 20 minutes. What's cool right here is it'll tell you the estimated time. And so there's the estimated time right here for this tool path. And so it's going to be cutting, it's going 125 inches a minute. It's cutting about 0.22 inches deep. Got my safety glasses on. And once again, it's going to cut all the way through and leave that onion skin And so this material is about 0.71 inches thick with 18 millimeter Baltic birch, and it's leaving a 0.08 onion skin. 0.08, 0.06, you know, 16th or a little bit over is what I like to do for onion skin. And so you got 3 passes to go down that 0.64 inches, and yeah, that's what it's doing. Pretty basic here. Pretty basic. So, as
4x4
huh?
That's the 4x4.
Yeah. So this is the Altmill 4x4. I don't know. I think that's it. I think that's all the names for it.
And what's really cool,
I know it's not gonna. I know that screw's not gonna get hit because I did that little circle thing with it earlier. So it's pretty cool that like nothing's gonna get hit. And notice all those chips are staying in that trench. They're staying in the cut path, and it's a pro and con because with a down cut bit, it has to cut those chips more than once, right? The pro is all of those chips are going to hold all those pieces in place, which I like. And so you may burn up down cut bits faster if you're doing a lot of profile cuts, but you don't have product slippage and you don't have wasted material. You know, and I'm using that Golden Girl rougher because this project really doesn't need a super clean cut. That finisher is going to be really loud cutting Baltic birch, and so I don't want to do that. Anyway, this is pretty cool. That'll keep running. Let's go talk about how I got to this point and what this design kind of looks like.
did that controller mount come with the Altmill, or is that aftermarket?
So this controller mount right here did not come with the Altmill. It was an up. It's on their site. Is an upgrade of like I think it was $500 for the upgrade to get this controller mount. But it did not initially come with it. You gotta have a laptop. I hate laptops. This is its own computer. You can watch YouTube. I can fill the live stream as I'm doing this. So, boom, and this will keep cutting, and it's not so loud because it is that rougher. RPM I had it set at, so 18,000 RPM, 125 inches a minute, roughly a 1/4 inch deep. And like I said, on that third pass, you're going to hear it scream a little bit more because it has 2 layers of chips in there that it has to recut, plus the new material. See, that's the third pass. You can kind of hear that. It's a difference. That's because it's recutting those chips. So if I were to go in there and clean out some of these chips, it's not going to be as loud because it doesn't have to recut those chips. So that is one downfall with a down cut bit. You win some, you lose some, right? If I was using an upcut bit, those pieces would fly everywhere and I wouldn't be able to just screw it down. I'd have to use double-sided tape or something else. All right, Brennan, switch whenever Steve got it. So I want to talk about a couple different designs I had whenever I was making this while that CNC's cutting, and we'll hop back to it. So if you have any questions on the CNC, I'll gladly walk back over there. I have a little table set up. Want to turn the light, Steve, or not? Maybe, maybe not. All right. Let me get these pieces. So I had a couple different designs that I initially did whenever I designed this. And once again, the digital files are for sale on CSE Workshop. You'll see it on the video this Sunday as well. But since y'all are on the live, y'all get a full little sneak peek to it. Okay. Getting all the pieces together. So this was kind of my initial design right here. Pretty basic. I had a little frame like this. And I had, where are we at? I had this coming up into here. I had a little frame coming down on the bottom. All this stuff kind of fit together. And you have a rough little frame. Now, obviously, when I was designing this, I kind of knew it wasn't going to work as I was designing it, but I wanted to test it to see. And so the idea is, this is a very rough idea, guys. Be with me here. Bear with me here. The idea is Ben, can you give me a Phillips head? Perfect. So the idea is you would take this.
Right out.
So this is a pony clamp from Amazon. I'll pin the link, or I'll put the link in the chat real quick. This is what I'm using for this kit. And so if you want to use this kit, you got to get this clamp. But ideally, this would fit in here, right? You put this little pad back on. You got a square head, Brandon, by chance? Give me a square head. That would be amazing. All right. So you put this in, and you put the thing you want to press down in here, right? So you put your piece of material in here, and when Brandon gets back with that square head, I'll show you a couple things that did not go right on this process. So obviously, I have way too big of screws. Everybody, this is my brother Brandon. He runs the shop
How's it going?
while I get to design cool CNC stuff every now and then. So he's my older brother, a little bit shorter, but he did make me the mixed drink before the show, so he has some kudos there. Yeah.
We just have one.
All right, we just have one. That's jammed. That's the thing of a live show. All right, but anyways, you clamp it down. And what happens is, obviously, this plywood is going to bow, right? So, or break. There's the flaw. Yeah, it really broke. Okay. To contradict that breaking, I was going to do a slotted kind of piece right here. And you put that slotted piece right here, and that should take out some of that bending. The problem is, you're going to stop over there. Switch to camera 2 real quick, Brandon. Is it about to break? Maybe. No. Hey-o. So, switch to camera 1. Sorry, Steven. So what it just did, it was kind of like slowing down and bogging down. The reason it was, one, I'm kind of running it a little bit fast, and I'm doing too many profiles. And so it was cutting a lot of sawdust out in like a very long straight line and started bogging down. And so if I had like a shot back, it's going to pick up a little bit of that dust in those cracks, and it's not going to do that. So for case in point, if I were to just see, then it doesn't sound bad. What's cool about the Altmill is if I want to speed up those RPMs, I can go right here and speed it up as it's going. So now it's at 19,000 RPMs. Oh, it's only on 100 minutes. I must know how to save it right. But anyways, and so this is pretty cool. So I can just tweak this on the fly. Have I got any questions as they're coming in, Brian?
Yeah, we'll do compression bit, question mark. Why not?
Hey, a piece of it. Oh, okay.
You're not going to depend on it.
All right. Well,
Compression bit?
so why not a compression bit on there? Well, I'm not running a compression bit on that CNC. I'm going to do a video on this in about 2 weeks. Compression bits on very small CNCs, you know, a 1/4 inch compression has the upcut, downcut part a 1/4 inch up. And so 1/4 inch compression bits are meant to cut 3/8 materials or 1/2 inch materials in one pass. And so with this machine that's running behind me or in front of me, I would have to cut all the way out a 3/4 or 3/8 material in one pass to make the compression bit worth it. I don't know if the machine can handle that yet. I want to test it before I do it on the live. It's not the machine. I don't know if the spindle can handle it on this machine. So like a 1/2 inch compression bit is meant to cut out 3/4 inch material. 3/8 compression bit can cut out 1/2 inch or 3/4 material, and a 1/4 inch compression bit can cut out 3/8 and 1/2 inch material. So like, that's just the way they're designed and made, right? Unless you have a Mortise compression, and a Mortise compression has a really thin first layer, so it turns at an 1/8 inch to 3/16. So it turns at about 0.15 inches from that upcut to downcut, and it's called a mortise compression. And it can actually do a compression cut on a 1/4 inch piece of material. I have a few of those left on CSC Workshop. That's why I have them there, but it solves that problem. Okay. So anyways, so this design was flawed because obviously it just breaks, right? So bad design, stupid design, not going to use it. So then we get to design number 2. Which was very close to my final design. But as they say, or as my dad always used to say, it's close, but no cigar. So how this one works, what I wanted to do is I had this clamp here, and I wanted to put it and sandwich it between the two things. But I couldn't pocket this all the way out right here, because if I did, it would be too fragile and it would snap. And so what I had to figure out how to do was, how do I hold this thing in here in midair, pretty much, without, you know, without it falling or anything like that, because I had to have enough structural integrity to hold it up. And I didn't want to use a whole bunch of material. I didn't want to cut 3 layers. I wanted it to be simple as possible. Hey, Brandon, could you go get me 2 more of those pony clamps over there? And so this was this kind of contraption that I came up with. So bear with me while I put it together. So you have this little piece. It's going to go into here. Thank you, sir. And this piece, I found out that these are about a 1 inch wide gap. And so I made this a 1 inch wide gap, and this holds each piece of plywood right here. And so if these are sitting in this gap, boom, boom, and you throw this in here, keep in mind that we work for about 30 minutes before this live in the shop, so do keep that in mind. We like sweep it up real quick, and then we go straight to this live. Because back here, we actually do a pretty good job of cleaning up in the shop. So wood shops do get dirty. YouTube would not make you think that, but wood shops do get dirty. Is it doing what now?
What's your depth pass?
So my pass depth on that current bit is about 0.22 inches deep currently on that bit. 3 passes. Yep. So right here, if you can see this, Steven, we have 2 little screws that are holding this thing up. And so we have 2 screws that are holding this clamp up. And I come up and I hold this right here. This goes on the bottom. And you're starting to see how this could possibly work. Now, there's a lot more designing to it than this, but you can start to see how this can possibly work. So now when I want to clamp down, I take this, and I can now clamp down, and it's pretty stable. And I just used some junk plywood we had laying around the shop. This is a UV birch. I say junk. I just used some random plywood laying around the shop. So this is some UV birch right here. But this was getting closer to my design because now I had enough material where I can clamp down and nothing breaks, but I was still using a screw. And I explain all this in depth in this Sunday's video, but this was kind of where I was getting closer to what we're cutting out now, which is getting cool. So that's a little bit of the design process behind it. Yeah, and I just didn't want to use screws. Was kind of the main factor, and this design was still using screws. So the design we're cutting out now doesn't use screws. There's a couple issues here about holding the material flat that I eliminated, and a couple things over here. So I did a lot of tweaking to it, and that's what we're cutting out over there. And as of right now, I believe Yeah, so I can talk. Yeah. So currently it's doing that. It's cutting it all the way out right now. And so let me. Well, I don't want to vacuum it up too much and vacuum up all the dust out of the cracks. Yeah. So currently it's cutting it all the way out. But notice the pieces aren't moving. I'm gonna suck it up a little bit more so they can see. Oh, I'm live on this one. Oh. Y'all didn't see that? So what it's doing right here. So it's cutting it out all the way. And remember, the whole entire project is not held down except for these 4 screws that are holding down these pieces. And so this is getting cut all the way out, all the way through, and it's only cutting that 0.0, it's only cutting this onion skin that's right here. See that onion skin? Eggshell, onion skin, all that good stuff. So it's only cutting out this right here. Okay. So that's what it's doing. Now, it doesn't take a little longer, yes, but it's a lot safer because once again, like the tab is the only thing really holding all this together. And so as this comes across, this piece and all the pieces inside of it are now fully cut out, but just held together by tabs, which is really cool. And only those 4 tabs that I showed you. So it's going to come around. And you can see it's cutting my MDF right here, and the world is good. Everybody's happy. At least I'm happy. Give this a like. If y'all are watching, tuning in, give us a like, give us a thumbs up. I do this live stream for you. I'm in the shop all day. I just want to entertain y'all guys. And if you would check out stuff, these inlay kits that we just launched on CIC Workshop, it would be a huge deal. We have Paduke, we have walnut bases, we have maple. We had yellow heart this morning for a total of about 3 hours, and we sold out of all of our yellow heart inlays that we had. So we had yellow heart literally for about 3 hours, and then it was gone. Any questions I can take, Brandon, as I'm doing this? Yeah, is Toby on? Okay, yeah, Toby was on. Toby bought out most of our yellow heart. One of the shots I want to get, Steven, is whenever this comes around, I want to show it cutting that onion skin right here because it's so cool. Like, and if y'all guys are enjoying this, let me know in the comments so I know I'm doing a good job here. And if you do want to check out the Altmill, I do leave a link for that. Click it, use the link, let them know we sent you. So if you do end up purchasing one, let them know that Cutting It Close did send you and made you make that buying decision. But yeah, so this Golden Girl is handling it just fine. Cutting it all out, it's happy, and it's about to do this final cut. But it's cutting these pieces all the way out, and they are not moving. And all we have is a couple tabs. This is my favorite cut right here. The onion skin is about a 1/16 of an inch thick. And so watch this, Steve. It's going to come around. Yeah, I love that. I love this stuff. If you don't like CNC, you probably hate this live. But if you like it, you love this live, baby. And it's done.
Very cinematic.
Yep. All right, now we are done.
Kudos to Steven behind the camera.
Yeah, kudos to Steven behind the camera. He's getting in there. He has never ate more sawdust than filming on a CNC. So thank you, Steven. So the only thing holding this on, look at that, were those 2 tabs. That's it. So this whole entire thing was held on literally by those tabs. And Charlie, who's on the computer right here. Charlie, get that giveaway ready. We're going to give away this before we put it together. And then when we put it together, whoever wins the giveaway gets this kit and the 2 clamps all with it. And I think the clamps cost $22 a piece. And you do have to have those clamps to make this kit right here. All right. So as you can see, once again, it was so cool is that I can pop out all of these pieces, and that original piece is still held in on there. Like, that's cool. And so these are all my pieces that I need, and that original, the waist is still screwed down. Now, if you don't want to do that and you don't want to be too crazy, if you do get the digital file, just put some holes in these. It doesn't really matter if they have holes or not. So, but you could do that. Are we ready for a giveaway? Possibly.
We said he's glad he's got it all. Ashley jumped in, says she boxed it today.
Nice. Charlie, be ready for a giveaway? Let's do it. So how this giveaway works, you put a hashtag, a £, whatever, press me. And if you do that, you're going to get entered into the drawing to win this inlay press that we are giving away today. It is going to be this exact one that we just cut out. And I'll actually engrave on it, a second YouTube live ever. And I'll put your name, who it's to, and all that good stuff. So if you do win it, you'll get a custom engraved one from us sent to you with the clamps and all that stuff. But wait, there's more. I'll throw in a free Golden Girl as well. How about that? So, but wait, we'll double that offer and include free shipping. Yeah. So, I love it. Oh, a lot of y'all guys are entering, and if you put hashtag press me a whole bunch, you do not get entered anymore. Just want to throw that out there. You get entered the same amount. Sorry, guys. All right. As that is working, let me vacuum off this table. And I will show you the press. Okay, that's good enough. So a lot of people ask me, do I use dust collectors? Absolutely. I don't use shop vacs really around the shop too much. Yeah, this is the one that works. Put it that way. So, just taking these out. And once I take these out, we will draw the winner of this press we're about to assemblize. Okay, and since all of our cameras are set up for here, we're going to put the press together here. And we don't need that. All right, we're going to draw the winner. Drum roll, please. We had 71 entries, it looks like, or a little bit more than that. Drum roll, please. Draw. Who is the winner of this press? Too late. Day late, dollar short. Brooks Martin. Email. We're going to put an email in here. sales@cicworkshop.com. If you can send an email to sales@cicworkshop.com, Brooks Martin, you're going to get a Golden Girl bit. You're going to get the inlay press that we cut out live on here and 2 pony clamps. Congrats. All right, so right off the press, just kind of funny, right off the press, we can make this press. Right off the rip, we can do this. We're going to have all these tabs and stuff, but as you can see, everything fits really nice. But since I was slightly prepared, I'm going to go get the one already sanded down. That way, I don't have to deal with these tabs the whole time. But as you can imagine, you sand these pieces down, and this is the whole entire press. It fits together all in one. Super duper cool. We're going to set that to the side and get the actual press. 1 second. Grab those other 4 pieces right there, Brandon, if you can. All right. So same exact pieces we just now cut out. They're just sanded, so I don't have to deal with tabs. This is the one I used in the YouTube video. And once again, we made this press out of 3/4 Baltic birch. So 18 millimeter Baltic birch. I wanted to do that in Baltic birch because I think it's the strongest plywood out there, and so it can withstand all the pressing pressure I am going to be giving it. And so we do sell 2 foot by 2 foot pieces of this, so you can make the press on CIC Workshop. So definitely check that out, guys. But here is the moment y'all guys been waiting for, and this is the coolest press in the history of presses. Brandon, could you grab me 2 pony clamps, please? So these feet go in here, just like so. And notice they're raised a little bit. And the reason they're raised is to hold that cutting board off of this frame that's going to be doing all the pressing. Because you want the cutting board to be, or whatever you're inlaying, to be very, very flat. I don't know if you can get that shot there. All right. Next thing is this piece just fits right in, kind of like Model 2.0 here. All right, so everything fits, and it's the most beautiful thing ever. Now, really quickly, here is a little hack that I did. See this slot right here? That is so, we got to flip these around here, Brennan. That is so this piece fits in there. And so this piece now fits in here, so you don't have to use a screw. I think both of these are backwards. And they don't come like this. We've just been playing with them so much in the shop that, we get them backwards. But let me re-symbolize that while my brother works some magic on these. I think the one in the kit over there is actually all right. Don't forget to give us a like on this if you are enjoying this live stream, guys. So we have that. This foot is on. And this is like the coolest thing ever. See if you got a good shot of my baby right here, my sweet, sweet baby. So boom, this now snaps in there. And this clamp is now held in place with just that. And then you come back around and put this little wedge in the marked spot. And this clamp is not coming out. And then when this one's ready, and once again, this is just straight out of the box from Amazon, these little pony clamps. It's going to come in here, just like so. Well, if I can get it in here. Just like so. And it fits into that slot, just like so. And you come around and you lock them all in place, just like that. Boom. And then you take the thing you want to inlay. Let's just say you want to inlay this walnut cutting board with this piece of Baduke right here. Let's just say we set it on that very flat base. We grab our 2 sheets of plywood right here. And with this, I just had 2 pieces of scrap plywood. You would ideally use 1 piece or double stack them or something like that. But these 2 pieces work just fine for demonstration purposes only, right? But, all right. And so you have your press plate on there. And now you can screw everything down. And you cannot, look at that. And you're in, it's pressed. It presses it evenly all the way across. I tested it multiple times, and you have this beautiful press. Now, obviously, you can make multiple of these and stack them up if you have something longer or something like that. But this is now a portable inlay press that it is like the coolest thing. Look at that. And it all fits together. And so in your shop now, you don't have to have a hydraulic press in the corner. You don't have to have all of this stuff. And whenever you're done with it, you undo it all. right? You take out your beautiful inlay, and we'll be using this press next week because we are doing a live inlay on this show. And then you look at this breakdown. Look at this breakdown time. Boom, boom. Boop, boop. Comes apart. And you're done. That's awesome. Like, that is one of my favorite things I have probably ever made in the history of ever. So I do have this for sale, digital file for sale. You can get the plywood. The only thing I cannot supply you is the clamps. But if that was cool, let me know in the chat, because this thing is just, once again, the coolest thing I think I have ever made. And it's all done with a CNC. No screws or glue required. And now whenever you do an inlay, you don't have to have all these tools. And you can just quickly put this thing together just like so. And I think it's less than a minute, if I'm not mistaken.
The video, that's a little over a minute.
Lock it in place once again. And your press is ready to go. Just like so. And you have a press that is ready, guys. And that's what we cut out. And you saw it takes about 20 minutes to cut it out, maybe 30 minutes. I did everything with the Golden Girl bit, 3/4 Baltic birch, and it's great. I'll have the digital file for you, and we are releasing a full video over the whole design process on Sunday. Correct, Steve? Because he's currently trying to edit it and get it all done.
Mark can't believe she won. She never wins these things.
Oh, well, congratulations, Brooke. Once again, you'll be getting not this one, because this is the one we did not cut on live. You'll get the one we actually cut in the live. We'll sand it down and engrave it for you. I really appreciate you watching and all that good stuff. Do I have any more questions I can take for anybody? Rest. Yeah. Dang, not a lot of questions. I must be covering a lot of stuff. Yeah, I love it. And if any of y'all guys, I have, let me, so a lot of y'all want to know like everything we do. So we have CIC Academy, which is how to make money on Etsy. We have CIC Workshop, where you can get bits and materials. And we have CNC Startup, where you can optimize your CNC skills. That's our three things, our three ways you can support the channel. So that's the whole three businesses within Cutting It Close. So if you need bits and materials, come to us. You want to make money on Etsy, come to us. And CNC Startups is free. You can join, and I have different videos over that. And I'll put those in the description in this live stream so you can easily access all of that. If there is no more questions that I have, if there are no more questions or anything like that, I would appreciate y'all guys checking this out. I even arced the feet for you. Get the digital file. Check out the Altmill. Check out any of the links we have. I really appreciate it. It really does help support the channel. And that's it for this live. I will see y'all next week, and where we live inlay a cutting board. We'll use this press, and we'll show you some different stuff. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all guys next week. I hope this live was great for y'all, as it was for me. Later, guys.